Hello, it's Business Live. Welcome to our program tonight. Coming up, CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Yofi Grant, kicks against instituting laws that would compel multinationals to list on the Ghana stock market. Also tonight, gold buying firm Men's Gold to get into more trouble as fresh investigations suggest it is engaged in some operational illegality. Plus, on the Joy Business van, we relive the experiences at the Joy Business Health and Wellness Trade Show. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for joining us. Plenty more coming up in this half hour of Business News. Tonight, gold buying firm Men's Gold could be in more trouble as fresh investigations suggest it is indeed engaged in an activity that it has not been licensed to carry out. There's more in the following report.
According to the Minerals Commission and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, the license that it gave out to Men's Gold only allows them to buy and trade in gold. That is by refining gold into other products as well as exports. For instance, the individual who actually played a critical role in Men's Gold's license tells Joy Business that the license was just meant for buying and exporting or manufacturing gold products. So if the company is doing anything outside this, then the Minerals Commission did not give the approval to do so. However, checks by Joy Business indicates that the company may be engaging in some sort of derivatives trading with its bullion investment platform, which offers 10% monthly return on some units of gold bar purchase from its outfits, an activity the Bank of Ghana is accusing the firm of using to collect deposits from public. For some, the development could give more ammunition to the Bank of Ghana to take the necessary actions against Men's Gold.
Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has been giving details of tax measures that could be considered in the upcoming mid-year budget review. The Finance Minister is likely to review key macroeconomic targets set out in the 2018 budget next month. Top on the agenda will be a look at tax policy measures. Ken Ofori-Atta has been explaining to Joy Business why the mid-year review would be heavy on the country's tax policies.
The issue of revenue mobilization is about you and I and corporates paying their taxes. So if currently we are about 6 million formal workers and we are collecting taxes from 1.5 million, clearly there's a 4.5 million amongst us who are not paying. So how do we encourage that to happen, and how do we get the corporates to do? We also are looking at the tax stamps for the manufacturing companies so we can track it better. We are looking at electronic point of sale systems so that will also help us, get to the average taxpayer. But I think that the real issue is whether we as Ghanaians are going to be honest with ourselves as to how we want to participate in the economic transformation. So as government does its part of the social contract of, free SHS or nurses allowance or, teacher training allowance, which is taking money out for social interventions. The question then becomes, how do we get the resources in for the public services that we all demand? And that's the spirit of discussions that we should have, even as we strengthen and maybe use technology more effectively.
Now, the Bank of Africa says it may consider merging with another bank as part of strategies to meet the new capital requirement. According to the Managing Director, Kobi Anda, measures are being put in place to raise the 400 million Ghana cedi new capital set by the Bank of Ghana by August this year. He spoke to Joy Business at an SME workshop.
Ahead of the December 2018 deadline for banks to meet the new capital requirements, Governor of the Central Bank says the public will be informed about which banks are likely to miss the recapitalization deadline by July this year. According to the Bank of Africa boss Kobi Anda, his outfit will meet the deadline, otherwise may resort to a merger by August this year.
there will soon be an announcement. We are very confident that the strategies we are putting in place will yield results that we can announce before the end of the third quarter, most probably in August. Just be patient. You shouldn't be worried. As I said, we are one of the largest banks in Africa. We chose to be in Ghana, and we intend to stay in Ghana for the long term.
Okay. So, worst case scenario, will you look at mergers or acquisition?
It might be one of the options. I mean, we are looking at various options. Unfortunately, because the deals we are discussing have not been signed off, I cannot make that. I don't have a mandate to make an announcement, but I can give you the assurance that we are the comfortable lead.
He spoke with Joy Business after an SME workshop organized by his outfit. It brought together about 120 participants from the SME space and some officials from the bank. The Chief Director at the Ministry of Business Development, Joe Taki, re-emphasized the benefits of a national entrepreneurship and innovation plan launched by government.
And we are scaling this down to 500. By the end of July, early August, we are going to award these 500 businesses between 10,000 Ghana cedis and 150,000 Ghana cedis to enable them pursue their dream and pursue their businesses.
Some entrepreneurs also shared their concerns.
Listening to the rep from the Ministry for Business Development, I think they've started something, and we are hopeful we are hopeful that things will be okay. Things will be okay. And with the ideas, most of the times ideas may be there, but the reality is normally the problem. So
my concerns was more about the fact that they are focusing on startups with this incubation project. But I was thinking that maybe existing companies can also be given a boost, especially in the private business, so that they can also expand and spread their tentacles and employ more people.
Bankers know about bank, they know about finance, but they don't know too much about our business. It is not as it is written. It's not as we learn in school. Our business is different. Like in Okanshi, it is a whole ball game altogether. Sometimes the bank expects this from us. We are not able to live up to their expectation. And I would prefer that the bank will come closer with us, so that in our time of difficulty, they will know and advise us as such.
The Bank of Africa SME Workshop was under the theme Government Initiatives, Opportunities for SME Businesses.
Now, as part of Barclays Bank Ghana's shared growth agenda and to reach out to the less privileged in society, it has completed and commissioned an auto-modern clinic for the residents of Troto, a village near Suhum in the eastern region. The facility, which was built by the bank and its partners, is aimed at providing quality health care to the residents and children of Troto Baptist Church and Orphanage. Kofisia reports.
Residents of Trotro have until now been commuting long distances to areas like Suhum and Koforidua to seek health care. They have been denied of basic health care for a long time. Residents can now heave some sigh of relief following the decision by Barclays Bank to put up a clinic for the community. Commissioning the project, Director of Marketing and Corporate Relations for Barclays Bank Ghana, Nana Esilfua Boyson, said the decision follows a passionate appeal for a clinic in the community, as a number of lives have been lost due to delays in carrying patients with cases like snake bites. She noted that Barclays Bank raised funds from different sources to build a clinic for the community.
Previously, we were calling it Make a Difference Day, and it's a day where colleagues devote their time to communities within which we operate. And it is out of such that a function within the Barclays business undertook to come and support the Stroto community, because they had heard of a very sorry story on radio concerning the health of, I think, some of the community inhabitants. And therefore, they undertook this project with the support of Blavo and co-solicitors. but they were under the watchful eye of the director for the Basco school here, which is Reverend Oforiamwa. And so him soliciting the help, the team decided that this is where they were going to devote their time and resources. And this has been going on actually for over 10 years.
Director and founder of Baptist Church Complex and Orphanage, Reverend Victor Oforiamwa, expressed appreciation for the gesture.
It's really shocking also to see such a great edifice being built here after 22 years of struggle. I saw one of people we worship with dying, and he has to be put at the back of a taxi. By the time he gets to the junction, he's dead.
You're watching Business Live. Let's turn to other news now. And the Chief Executive of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Yofi Grant, says he's against instituting laws that would compel multinationals to list on the stock market. He was responding to calls that government should look at compelling foreign firms in the country to list on the stock exchange following MTN's decision to go public. But Mr. Grant tells Joy Business the country should be careful how it implements the proposal.
So we first have to find the mechanics in which we make that work. So for example, even if we insist that certain companies should be owned 100% or majority Ghanaian, knowing that we lack the capital depth to make that happen, what kind of structures will we recommend that even if we want Ghanaians to own majority of companies, we have to find a way to separate that from the financing of the companies, such that those who finance the companies are able to claw back the investment and then share. You know, but that's the issue that you need to contend with. The fact that there's lack of capital here, and we do need the investment here. So we strike a balance.
Do you see that as a problem?
Oh, of course it is. You want to develop your country, you don't have money.
You're raising about a little over 3 billion Ghana cedis within a month.
Well,
over a month.
I need to be raising 10 in a month. That's the challenge.
And restricting it to Ghanaians.
Well, restricting it to Ghanaians, that would be the challenge.
Yeah.
But raising it to come into the country to work, such that Ghanaians can benefit, I think that's a value proposition that we will encourage.
Meanwhile, the stock market has made gains of about 35% already this year as investors shift from the money market to other profitable investments. This follows a further drop in the monetary policy rate by the Bank of Ghana, leading to a decline in returns on the monetary market instruments such as treasury bills and interest on deposits. Economist with Data Bank Charismatic explains how the shift has contributed to a strong recovery of the stock market.
Our experience over the last couple of months has shown that with the declining interest rates, a lot of investors who want to take a lot more risk have moved significantly into the stock market. And what that has done is that even without the publication of listed companies' financials, we have seen a strong recovery in the prices of listed companies, most of them, and that has resulted in 52% return averagely for last year, 2017. And even this year, we've seen the stock market doing quite well, getting to about 35% average returns before retreating to some 27% as we speak. And so you see that there's a lot of traffic that has flowed out of the treasury bills market because of the declining interest rate towards the capital market, both for bonds and the stock market. And that is making it quite attractive for investors on the longer side as against the shorter side of things.
Okay. So would you say this is a positive trend, and how can we sustain it?
Well, I'd say generally it is positive, because in the past when treasury bills had high rates, it gave us an inverted yield curve, meaning that short-term yields are higher than long-term yields, and a lot of investors would not be prepared to give money out for long. And that also went into the thinking of banks, so that banks will not grant credit to businesses for so long when they can turn it around quickly in a short-term instrument. Now that it's declined and we have a normal yield curve, banks should be looking at giving money for long because the catch is on the longer end of the market. The advantage is that businesses can then access long-term funding to improve on their investment, expand their business operations, expand productivity and profitability, and hire more hands and reduce unemployment and improve livelihood of people. So this is the benefit.
Auditing firm KPMG says it will be ready to release the financial results of Uni Bank Ghana after its validation process in September this year. The bank was placed under official administration by the Bank of Ghana 2 months ago after it realized some difficulties with liquidity and management. In an exclusive interview with Joy Business, senior partner at KPMG, Anthony Sapon, disclosed that the true state of the bank will be revealed after the evaluation process. There's more in the following report.
According to the Bank of Ghana, the appointment of KPMG as the official administrator was aimed at saving Uni Bank from imminent collapse. It was also to prevent potential losses to depositors and other creditors and ensure the financial condition of the bank does not create further risk for the entire financial system. The audit firm has assured that it is on course with its mandate, and in an interview with Joy Business, senior partner at KPMG, Anthony Sapon, says they will meet the deadline.
20 days is just a point in time to be able to give a situation analysis to Bank of Ghana and say that, okay, prior to the appointment, this is the situation you had as Bank of Ghana. But having been in it for 90 days, this is what we have seen. And then that same report will contain what needs to be done, for example, in the next 6 months or 1 year. Because as I said, so far I've talked mostly dealing with the liquidity. But after 90 days, you then need to look at what capital does the bank require. In technical terms, they may call it solvency. In other words, in the long term, how much funding does the bank require? The implementation of that itself can take longer than just the 90 days. But I think the determination of what you need to do, we expect to come to that position by inside our 90-day report for consideration of Bank of Ghana.
He also disclosed that no employee of the bank has been negatively affected as a result of the takeover.
Not just looking at the resolution, but also looking at the interest of all stakeholders. If I were a manager, yes, of the bank, my employees are essential assets of the bank, and therefore I will not jump about just say because I want to cut costs, I'll sack the employees. I'll do it in a manner that also protects their interests. And within a bigger context of public good, then you are saying that if you want to disengage employees, then you are going to create unemployment. What are the consequences of unemployment on the general society as a whole, particularly also given the general unemployment situation that we have in Ghana? So as an OA, our primary concern has not been to disengage employees because, one, our period itself is short-term basis. If the 6 months elapse and we have to go, we ought to be able to exit smoothly.
In line with its powers under Act 930, KPMG will ascertain the state of the bank's assets and liabilities and exercise a variety of powers under Act 930 to rehabilitate and return the bank to regulatory compliance.
Well, it's been more than a month of health reports from the Joy Business Van, and we are wrapping it all up today, looking back at the experiences at the Health and Wellness Trade Show, which ended last Saturday. The Accra Digital Center was venue for the Made in Joy Business Health and Wellness Trade Show, aimed at bringing together various businesses operating in the health sector, providing networking opportunities and fostering the business-to-customer experience.
If we are looking at growth within the next 20 years, up to 18 trillion and beyond, then we're talking about big business. Now, what are we going to do about this big business? We know that pharmaceuticals alone will account for at least 3 trillion of this spend.
Healthcare providers, pharmaceutical firms, health insurers, wellness centers, manufacturers of herbal medicines were heavily represented.
Do you believe in herbal medicine?
Yeah, I'm actually a medical practitioner, so I was curious when I saw one anti-malaria, Nebima. So I just looked at the constituents on it, and just now I Googled, and interestingly, some beautiful work has been done on it online from very respectable source.
So you feel we are missing out on herbal medicine in Ghana? You feel we are missing out on the potential of herbal medicine in Ghana? Maybe you could take it up.
Not that we are missing out, but it's an aspect that sort of people are not concentrating on, which is the scientific aspect of it.
Patrons were exposed to new technology such as the Safe Doctor telemedicine app and the Salad Master cooking system, encouraging healthy food preparation.
What kind of fond memories are you going to be taken away from you from this side as, you know, salad masters?
Well, having people around to enjoy a very healthy salad, enjoying foods that are normally fried with artificial oils. This time they get to have it without any of those artificial oils, and just having people around who care about their health.
And there was quite the unusual pranic healing, a natural healing technique.
Okay, what's going on here?
So what is really going on is called Aqua Chi Food Detox. What it does is that an interaction between the feet and the water and the Aqua Chi unit throws up certain colors that signifies what is happening in your body. So depending on the color code, it will show whether there's detox in your liver, your bladder, your skin, and stuff like that.
Before we end with you, let me just pick his thoughts first of all. How are you feeling right now?
Very comfortable.
How has the feeling been like for you for the Joy FM Health and Wellness Trade Show?
Well, it's been great. Because when I came here, they introduced me to this thing, and he said, yes, I've got to go through it, and I know exactly what my health status is like. So that's what I'm just going through to find what it is like.
It's not just it doesn't just apply to just the man, but then it's for both the man and the woman. So it depends on the couple. That's why I said it's relative. So if for a couple it will take 1 minute for both partners to achieve sexual satisfaction, then that is not premature ejaculation.
I'm so excited for this. I've been looking forward to it ever since I was told about it, and I think it's about time.
I just entered into your consultation room. How has the feeling been like for you as a male doctor looking at the issues of men?
Oh, that's what I do normally. I see male patients. So this health show has helped us to see a few men with a few male issues.
Do you think that the issue of male reproductive, health system has been swept under the carpet here in Ghana? We don't really pay attention to this very side.
It's not that we don't pay attention to it. Male fertility issues and male issues are sort of private. So most men need a private place able to talk to a doctor. Most people come to the hospital with male issues, and yet they come and talk about other things. So you need to provide a conducive atmosphere for them and a private setting so they're able to voice out their issues.
It was fulfilling these 3 days, and certainly the Joy Business Health and Wellness Trade Show has come to stay.
When we look at what is happening with our health now, I think we need to do more, and the trade show is long overdue.
All right, time to bring you our interview of the day. And the head of the economics department at the University of Ghana, Professor Peter Quartey, says a new micro-banking system is needed to deal with the country's unbanked population. A recent World Bank report indicated over 7 million Ghanaians do not have traditional bank accounts or mobile money wallets. Now, Professor Peter Quartey is suggesting a new micro-banking system will help rope in millions of Ghana's unbanked population, which may not be able to bear the cost of modern banking platforms.
Mobile money has been taken up quite strongly of late.
What do you have to say to this argument that, yes, we have implemented mobile money, we have, interconnected the banks, but yet still this whole issue of getting people come on board to save and transact business has been left. So there kind of be a deficit in terms of how to reach out to these people despite all these innovations.
Yeah, there are some who are obviously out of the financial market for genuine reasons. If you have excess income, that is when you save. But there are quite a number of them who basically do hand-to-mouth. If you look at the proportion of the population that are poor, it tells you they cannot make ends meet. And therefore, whatever they get is hand-to-mouth, let alone to even save some. So that is number one. Two, banking is expensive. Banking can be costly, can be time-consuming. And therefore, we need to develop some micro banking, like the suit type, but a bit more formalized.
All right, that'll be it for Business Live tonight. Thanks for watching, everyone. There's more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. We've got the day's latest business news story. The president is speaking about mining and saying that mining communities must reflect riches, not disgrace or distress. Also, Bank of Ghana to introduce, well, they've taken it off the screen, introduce cybersecurity guidelines in weeks, plus all the latest bulletins just in case you missed out on any one of them. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for watching. We're back same time tomorrow.